Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, a look into the numerous trespasses on campus this past week, along with an update on a new apothecary in Hamden.
And a look at how Quinnipiac students are recognizing Domestic Violence Awareness Month and a new mitigation program within the School of Law.
Plus, a look at some new construction on campus and local businesses honoring women entrepreneurship.
All that and more coming up on the Q30 Newscast.
Welcome to another edition of the Q30 Newscast. I'm Ben Kane.
And I'm Santino Mayoni. Now, Ben, this is our first time anchoring the show together, and I'm looking forward to a great one.
Well, Santino, this past week, 2 unauthorized visitors came onto campus and began talking to students. However, this is not the first time a similar incident has occurred this semester. Olivia Cattell has more.
Last Thursday, October 12th, the Quinnipiac University Department of Public Safety received an alert regarding 2 people who were believed to be suspicious on campus. This incident involved 2 individuals of Mormon faith who invited students to prayer services after parking on New Road and walking onto campus. Chief of Public Safety Tony Reyes explained that the October 12th incident was not ultimately determined to involve suspicious persons, and because Quinnipiac is an open campus, members of the public are permitted to enter.
It's not atypical or untypical for people to come on campus. We get visitors quite often. And for people to come off the street and maybe either use the library or at times, walk around the campus.
Concerns are raised when individuals on campus are engaging in behaviors that could be harmful. Most recently, the Department of Public Safety did warn members of the campus community of a suspicious person that was reported in the Communications, Computing, and Engineering building who was obtaining payments from students without authorization.
Those are the types of behaviors we don't want on campus. We don't want our students exploited, our community exploited, and we very much want to keep it devoid of that type of behavior, so we want to discourage that.
Despite the recent situation, students are understanding about Quinnipiac's status as an open campus and did not find them harmful.
I feel like it didn't make me feel too unsafe because the people who were coming on campus weren't they're posing a threat, but it's not necessarily a physical threat. It's more of they're taking your money.
I think it is a big deal, but I feel like it's kind of expected that people can walk onto campus at any time, and I think that's true for any college campus.
Reyes says that the Department of Public Safety encourages students to call about any people they consider suspicious on campus, and the situation will be evaluated.
What I would tell students is trust your instincts, right? Typically those are the most reliable indicators and the most reliable ways for us to sort of, take action. So something doesn't seem right.
For Q30 News, I'm Olivia Cattell.
A longtime Hamden cop has been named the new deputy police chief. Captain William Onofrio was appointed the town's deputy police chief this week, said Mayor Lauren Garrett in a news release. Onofrio will start his position on October 16th in an acting role until his appointment is approved by the Legislative Council. Onofrio will join fellow native and soon-to-be Chief Edward Page Reynolds as the new faces of Hamden law enforcement.
The Hamden synagogue was received a second bomb threat this past week. The threat on October 13th comes just 8 days after the original one was made on October 5th. Hamden Mayor Lauren Garrett took to Facebook and posted on the issue saying, quote, "Today, Congregation Mishkan Israel received a bomb threat. This threat is similar to the threat made on October 5th. Any threat to the safety of our community is unacceptable and taken seriously," unquote. Hamden police have now increased patrols and will provide additional support during services.
Just last week after everything started that was going on in Gaza, I drove past a church at 9 o'clock on a Friday in a busy city, and there was no security guard. But if you wanted to go to temple at 2 o'clock on a Wednesday afternoon, there would still be an armed guard. So I think that speaks volumes to the conditions that have been going on long before what's going on in Gaza.
The School of Law's Homeless Mitigation Meditation Program received a $540,000 grant from the Connecticut Department of Housing. The grant will support HMMP's work to assist the department in serving individuals applying for the Unitect Eviction Prevention Fund program. The goal of the program is to prevent eviction and build and repair landlord-tenant relationships while improving communication.
The Hamden Planning and Zoning Commission has approved a special permit to bring the first cannabis shop to town. Katie Cohen has more.
A town divided all because of a little green. Hamden recently approved a new business coming to Whitney Avenue. This building right here will become a cannabis dispensary. But it's not the pot that's the problem, it's the location.
The traffic is bad. The traffic is outrageously fast.
Many Hamden residents are speaking out against the town's decision, saying the traffic on Whitney Ave will just get worse. Even some Quinnipiac University students worry about the backups.
I already leave very early for class to begin with because of the traffic on Whitney Ave and for parking on campus, so I think adding the dispensary will cause a lot more chaos.
At a public hearing last week, dozens of people showed up to voice their opinions. Some in support.
I think that it's a slam dunk for the town. I think it's going to increase business.
And some very against.
I'm a marijuana user. Love it. Support it. Not that location. The traffic is going to be a nightmare.
To respond to the controversy, representatives from the new dispensary coming to the Keating Brothers Motors building conducted a traffic report to really find out if this business would make an impact. And Quinnipiac students might be at the root.
I was a little surprised at the increase that Quinnipiac University causes on Whitney Avenue down there.
That report found when Quinnipiac is in session, traffic gets worse. But adding a cannabis dispensary wouldn't make an impact. We spoke with the owners of Keating Auto Body Repair Shop off camera for legal reasons. They think the town is sabotaging their business. Other people we talked to say they are worried about crime in their neighborhood. But for most, they just worry about the queues.
I just think that we really need to think long and hard about that intersection, which is already rough.
Despite the debate, the dispensary will continue their plans to open up, and Hamden residents will just have to see how badly the traffic is impacted. Reporting in Hamden for Q30 News, I'm Katie Cohen.
Coming up on the Q30 Newscast, Hamden High School received some unwanted visitors.
Yes, and we'll have the latest on a popular transit route that will stop running.
But before we go, Connor Core is here to give us the 3-day forecast.
Yeah, thanks, Santino. There's a lot of new weather that's been going on the past couple of days. Today there was probably some, but as the day was going on, there was a lot less, and it was over cloudy with a high of 64 and a low of 47. As you look to the rest of the week, it was high of 65 and a low of 45. And as we head into Friday, those showers are going to start to come with a high of 63 and a low of 51. I'll be back with the full 7-day forecast after this commercial break.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
When we adopt a shelter pet, we discover they're a unique mix of all kinds of things.
Come on, Drew, spot me on this last one. There it is.
Keep going with it. Leo. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made home ownership happen. Homeschooling yourself on loans, beefing up your credit score.
So I'm pre-approved.
You were like, yes! Sorry. Color coding listings, ticking boxes, and flushing every toilet in a 20-mile radius. Home sweet home. You aced house hunting. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Welcome back to the Q30 Newscast. Last Friday, officials reported that Hamden High School became infested with mice. Q30's Geneva Cunningham has more on this and a possible recurring issue. Geneva?
Hamden Public Schools confirmed there is a mice infestation after Hamden High School teachers found fresh mouse droppings on their desks, counters, cabinets, and other surfaces around the building. The issue was raised during the board's meeting Tuesday night. While an exterminator was brought in to eliminate the rodents, it wasn't as effective as planned. Mark Hu, a Hamden High School senior who serves as the Board of Education student representative, raised the question of who should be picking up the mice droppings, adding that it would not be the janitors. Thomas Areola, the district's chief financial and operations officer, said that while it seems like a simple solution, Hamden High School will continually work on it to make sure all areas are clean.
This is not the first time, however. Hamden High has been in hot water in relation to mice in the school with 2 prior instances of infestation within the past 15 years, raising the question, why do mice keep finding their way into Hamden High? While the school is conducting an internal investigation to mitigate the effects and address the situation, many parents wonder if this incident will be the last.
Christina Marie, a parent and alum of Hamden High, said, "This is not new. Back in 2003 through 2006, I was in crew for the plays and we were in the attic and basement all the time. Mice have been living there for decades. Another parent, Tammy Brommel, said, I reported this 5 years ago or more to Hamden Health Department, and they did nothing about it. Parents asked the Hamden Public School Administration to contact the State Health Department, stating that it is a community hazard for children with allergies. Q30 reached out to Hamden Public Schools for comment, and they did not hear back. But in a statement to the Hamden community, the Hamden Public School Administration said they were, quote, aware of the problem and working to address it.
Parents and educators have their fingers crossed to find a lasting solution to this problem. Reporting from Hamden High School, Geneva Cunningham, Q30 News.
For 40 years, the 2-3 has been servicing hundreds of people every day on Mix Ave. The Connecticut Transit has just announced that the second busiest route that the New Haven District operates will be going out of business, causing lots of outrage amongst the public. One Connecticut native took to Facebook saying, quote, it's a shame. The working class needs to be penalized for other people's actions. I advise everyone to contact the mayor's office and CDOT to stop this supposed route change. The M&T Bank M&T Bank Center for Innovation Entrepreneurship, hosted an info session for the Quinnipiac Fall 2023 elevator pitch competition this past Monday. Q30's Casey Nedelka spoke with Patrice Loma, the director of the Center of Business, to discuss participating in the event.
We're going to give $200 to the top 3 winners in each category. We had several of the finalists in our fall elevator pitch who developed business ideas and participated in our spring pitch competition.
The race for the Speaker of the House continues to dominate the headlines out of the capital city.
Well, Santino, it's a good thing our political pundit Clever Streich is in studio to help us navigate all of this. Clever?
Thank you, Tino and Ben. Earlier today, Ohio Representative Jim Jordan failed to win the vote for House Speaker for a second time. The Republican could not get the required 217 votes to become Kevin McCarthy's replacement. Jordan received 199 votes in the Wednesday tally, but Democrat Hakeem Jeffries was the front-runner with 212 votes. Jordan said a third vote for House Speaker will be held at noon Eastern on Thursday, as the Republican-controlled House of Representatives will try to get on the same page. Next, an update on the ongoing court battles of former President Donald Trump. Yesterday, Trump returned voluntarily for his civil fraud trial in New York and called it a waste of his time. The $250 million trial is based off a decade of Trump's annual balance sheets, where he may have wildly inflated his net worth. Trump showed up to see the testimony of his former lawyer Michael Cohen, but a medical issue has delayed Cohen's appearance. Trump complained that Cohen, quote, didn't have the guts to appear. Cohen said in a statement that he's not afraid and that when he testifies, he's certain Trump will be in attendance. Finally, in local politics, Connecticut Governor Ned Lamont has revealed a new marketing campaign for Connecticut. The phrase "Make It Here" will be featured in the branding as part of a $1 million ad buy. Lamont shared that "Make It Here" highlights the economic growth and nutmeg pride of living in the state. Another point of inspiration to introduce the campaign was a study that showed 50% of Connecticut residents are proud of the state and 21% would recommend the state to others. The campaign replaces Connecticut's previous tagline, "Still Revolutionary," which has not been in use since 2019. That's it for our look at politics. Back to Tino and Ben at the desk.
Clever, we appreciate your time. Thank you. But unfortunately, we're going to have to head into our second commercial break of the evening. But when we return, we will have the story of a domestic violence awareness event on campus.
Plus, Connor Core will give us the full weather forecast when we return.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text-to-emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfies.
Nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's split a ride home.
Honey, what I think you need is a socket wrench.
I played JV basketball.
I'm sorry. I don't think it looks right.
This is good, and it's all good, baby.
Is it really all good?
If you love me enough to routinely test your handyman skills, not to mention the strength of your marriage, then of course you'll visit nhtsa.gov/therightseat to make sure I'm in the right car seat.
I'm gonna call my dad.
Welcome back, and thank you for continuing to choose the Q30 Newscast on Wednesday evening. One of Quinnipiac's most notable events has been rescheduled.
Fall Fest is being moved from this upcoming weekend to November 4th due to weather.
The collaborative effort between WQAQ and SPB was set to feature Peachtree Rascals as the event's headliner. Now, Tino, pants, shorts. I have no clue what I'm going to wear tomorrow.
Don't worry, Ben. Connor Core has made his triumphant return to fill us in on this week's forecast and hopefully make your fashion choices a little bit easier. Connor?
Yeah, thanks, Santino and Ben. We'll get to all your fashion choices in just 1 second, but as we take a quick look at the 7-day forecast, like we mentioned earlier, today it was cloudy, sunny throughout the entire day, but as the day wore on, more clouds started popping up in the Hamden area. As we move to tomorrow, it's going to start looking cloudy with a high of 65 as we move to the weekend. We talked about how WQAQ and SPB had to cancel their Fall Fest. Well, that's because of the showers that happened last weekend. We're also going to see those same showers coming up on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with temperatures in the low 60s and high 50s, Now, as we look to the start of next week with Monday, it's going to be partly cloudy, and Tuesday it's going to look sunny like it was today. So as we look at current temperatures around the state of Connecticut, we'll see Torrington with the lowest at 62 and Hartford at 65, as well as New Haven, Stamford, Norwich, and New London and Danbury at 64, all with lows in the high 40s and mid 40s. Now, guys, I've heard a lot of people are excited about wearing their Uggs this fall season. Now, I got to ask, what's your ideal fall fit when it comes to these weathers that we've been talking about?
Ben, I like to go with a nice little hoodie, a nice flannel, some jeans, maybe some Air Forces. That's my go-to. What about you?
Same thing, but Crocs.
You go Crocs in the winter.
The best traction you'll ever find, pick them up at any shoe store, $40, white Crocs.
That's fair. Listen, to each his own. Mayor Lauren Garrett collaborated with People Parents Reunited over untimely death and the People's Coalition of Connecticut to announce the plans for a Garden of Healing in Hamden at Eli Whitney Park. The announcement was made on Monday, October 16th at Eli Whitney Park. The planned Hamden Homicide Memorial Botanical Garden of Healing will address the loss of young lives due to homicide and the effects that it has on families and communities.
A pop-up shop was on campus this week to celebrate Women's Entrepreneurship Week. The event was hosted by the M&T Bank Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, celebrating Women's Entrepreneurship Week, and featured McKenna Haas, a member of the class of 2023. Haas runs SEAAV Athletics, a sustainable athletic clothing line made from recycled plastic waste and built out of the dorm room on campus.
I'm the founder of COV. I actually graduated from Quinnipiac in 2021, and I was an advertising and integrated communications major, an entrepreneurship and small business management minor, and COV was actually started out of my dorm room.
In conjunction with Domestic Violence Awareness Month, an event was held in the Piazza this week. Julia Barcella has more.
October is Domestic and Intimate Partner Violence Awareness Month. Domestic violence is one of the world's largest yet least spoken about issues. According to the National Child Traumatic Stress Network, there are more than 10 million abuse victims each year. Every 1 in 3 women and 1 in 4 men have been physically abused by an intimate partner. Elise Kaiser, the president of the Sociology Club, explained more regarding the panel.
Just wanted to create an event where students can come and learn more about it because there are a lot of different, connotations with what domestic violence involves and whatnot. So
during the panel, Andrea O'Connor educated attendees on the history of domestic violence.
It wasn't something that was talked about. It was behind closed doors. It was not anybody else's business. It was a family matter.
On the broader aspect of domestic violence, Rachel Shapani explains more on how students can deal with issues like this in their daily lives.
About this imbalance of power, right? Similar to domestic violence, it's one person trying to have this power over you and making you feel less than they are. And so I think it's
important to kind of seek out that support and find ways to stand up for yourself.
Rice Hall, a Yukon and Quinnipiac faculty member, discussed how domestic abuse can be looked at on a smaller scale.
The development of gender is not only exclusive for women to be involved because of the status of victimization, which is often associated with women. It's also not exclusive to men who are already in managerial positions, either formally in their workplace or informally as fathers. That is a process that's going to be beginning. It must be taken upon by men who are not yet in the place. This had to be done by men who wanted to just be better members of their campus community.
Quinnipiac offers students various resources such as the Hartford Healthcare Counseling Center. Reporting from Quinnipiac, I'm Julia Barcello, Q30 News.
Thanks, Julia. We're now joined in studio by Ava Crossley to give us the latest national news update.
Ava, I heard there were alleged hate crimes happening out west. Can you tell us more?
Thank you, Ben and Santino. The U.S. is seeing the effects of the conflicts in the Middle East, with 2 hate crimes taking place on opposite sides of the country this week. A 6-year-old boy was found stabbed to death and his mother seriously injured on Saturday in Illinois. The police arrested the family's landlord, Joseph Zuba, on first-degree murder, attempted first-degree murder, 2 counts of a hate crime, and aggravated battery with a deadly weapon. The Will County Sheriff's Department confirmed the attacks were due to the mother and son being Muslim and the current conflict in the Middle East. The young boy, identified as Weda Al-Fayoume, was discovered with 26 stab wounds. His mother, Hanan Shaheen, was found with a dozen stab wounds but is expected to survive. On Sunday in New York City, a 19-year-old was attacked on a shuttle bus. The attacker punched him multiple times and attempted to remove his turban, all while yelling, quote, "We don't wear that in this country, and take that mask off." Police said the victim was left with a minor laceration and some pain. This Sunday, pharmacy chain Rite Aid has filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy amid growing losses and lawsuits. The company hopes to restructure in order to reduce debt and resolve opioid-related litigations in an equitable manner. The company anticipated a net loss of $6,800 million by the end of this fiscal year, and the Chapter 11 will allow them to close failing stores faster. But shoppers can still shop in-store, online, and have their prescriptions filled. Finally, a Georgia man received a $1.4 million speeding ticket on September 2nd for going 90 miles per hour in a 55-mile-per-hour speed zone. When the man called the court, figuring the number was a typo, he was shocked to hear that he had to either pay the fine or appear in court in December. Officials later stated that the charge was actually a placeholder number in the citation software and not meant to scare anybody into a court appearance. That's all for national news. Back to Ben and Santino at the desk.
Thanks, Ava. Traveling across the nation sure has drained me. I think I could use a quick minute-and-a-half break.
I could use one as well, Ben, but when we come back, we're going to be talking about all things Quinnipiac sports.
I think it's just vapor with flavor.
It won't hurt my kid like cigarettes, right?
Vaping is safer than smoking, isn't it?
There's really not even that much nicotine in them, right?
My kid?
My kid knows it's dangerous.
Get your head out of the cloud. Today, nearly 8,000 kids will start vaping, maybe even yours. Learn about the dangers at talkaboutvaping.org.
Type 2 diabetes can have a big impact on your life, but how can it be prevented? Well, the first step is knowing if you have prediabetes, a serious medical condition that puts you at high risk for type 2 diabetes. 1 in 3 American adults has prediabetes, but more than 80% don't know they have it. The good news is, prediabetes can be reversed, and for many people, healthy changes in their daily routine can make a big difference. Take the 1-minute risk test today at doihavepprediabetes.org.
I know what you're thinking. I need a job. I need a new career.
Well, I've been there.
I've been there.
I've been there. I wasn't happy with what I was doing.
After high school, I didn't have a plan.
I just wanted to start working. I got laid off twice, but you gotta keep going.
You just need the right skills. Find an apprenticeship.
I found a 2-year IT program.
I found a medical course online.
I'm now a consultant in the tech space.
You have more options than you think. You can do this.
You will find something.
You will find something new.
Thanks for sticking with us. Now, Ben, I heard that a Quinnipiac sports team beat their opponent pretty handily this past weekend.
Yeah, it was a crazy weekend in Quinnipiac sports, and I heard the same thing, Tino. Katie, I was wondering, did I read that correctly, that men's ice hockey won 8-0 this weekend?
You definitely heard that correctly, and there's a lot of sports we got to cover from this past week, so let's take a look. After having a rocky start to the 2023-24 season in men's ice hockey, the team took 2 victories over AIC over this past weekend. On Friday, they pulled out an overtime win 3-2 and then came up with a huge 8-0 win. The following day, assistant captain Jacob Quellen was able to give the Bobcats the overtime goal to give Quinnipiac their first win of the season. Then on Saturday, the team dominated the ice as Colin Graff returned to the ice and scored 5 points in the game. Forward Sam Lipkin also made big plays, rallying in 4 points. The team looks to get another win as they head to New Hampshire against the Wildcats. The women's ice hockey team faced the Providence Friars with home and away games over the past weekend. On Friday, the Bobcats started off rough with Providence leading 1-0 through the first 2 periods. Then on the third period, the Bobcats flipped that script and they scored 4 goals and took the 4-1 win. And now they have 6 straight wins. Including those 4 goals, Captain Sadie Peart got her 100th collegiate point on an empty net. A huge congrats to her. The Bobcats look to keep their winning streak going this Friday at home against Brown University. Lastly, the volleyball team beat the Rider Bronx in Hamden in 3 straight sets on Sunday. The Bobcats were able to sweep the Bronx with service aces from setter Damla Ganesh, and other big moments was outside hitter Ariana Diaz leading the Bobcats with 12 kills, 2 assists, 2 service aces, and 6 digs. Opposite Alexandria Tenen also made a big impact on Sunday's game with a total of 10 kills and 8 digs. They look for another win as they head to Niagara University on Saturday. That's all the time I have this week. Back to you guys on the desk.
Thanks, Katie. Now, Quinnipiac University has officially started renovations for the QU baseball facility on the Mount Carmel campus. The university announced their plans for renovations on May 31st of this year. The complete project includes a new turf surface for the Bobcats baseball facility, as well as updated dugouts and fencing surrounding the field. The renovations are expected to be completed by the late summer, early fall in 2023.
Now, Quinnipiac's esports team will be hosting a 24-hour live stream fundraising event this weekend. The event starts on Friday at 5 p.m. and ends on Saturday. The live stream will be aired on the team's Twitch account with different donation goals and events to raise money for the organization being run throughout the event.
It's a 24-hour live stream on our Twitch channel, Quinnipiac_esports, and we have a whole event full of games, challenges, and so much more. Helps us with our jerseys, our merchandise, and everything. Helps us with our equipment for the club. It's a really big help for people to donate to.
The Quinnipiac University Theater is putting on a new production called Babes in Arms. Babes in Arms is a musical about teenagers putting on a show in the face of rampant oppression, dubious allyship, raging hormones, and a less than hopeful future. The performance will take place in the Theater Arts Center starting on Friday, October 20th. To purchase tickets and see the various other show times, go to theater.qu.edu.
Now, sticking with the entertainment theme, we're joined in studio by Liz Ippolito to give us the latest entertainment update.
Yeah, and I heard we lost a 70s sitcom star. Liz?
That's right, guys. Three's Company actress Suzanne Summers has died on October 15th at age 76. Her passing comes one day before her 77th birthday following her 23-year battle with breast cancer. Summers' publicist stated, quote, Suzanne was surrounded by her loving husband, Alan, her son, Bruce, and her immediate family. Her family was gathered to celebrate her 77th birthday on October 16th. Instead, they celebrate her extraordinary life and want to thank her millions of fans and followers who loved her dearly. Summers is most well known for her acting career during the 70s and 80s, starring as Chrissy Snow in Three's Company and Carol Lambert in Step by Step. Moving on, while the Writers Guild of America strike may be over, the SAG-AFTRA is still fighting on. After 2 weeks of negotiations, SAG-AFTRA and the AMPTP broke down Wednesday night. The thorn in both sides of the parties fall over wage and artificial intelligence disputes. The AMPTP said that the SAG-AFTRA's offer would cost them over $800 million per year and claimed that this offer would cause untenable economic burden. SAG-AFTRA responded by saying that the AMPTP is overstating the price by 60%. Since the strike continues, it will prevent production and marketing campaigns for many projects to come. Now finally, speaking of the WGA strike, Saturday Night Live is back, and who better to host than former cast member Pete Davidson? With SNL not airing since April 2023, there was so much for the show to cover. The most popular sketch being Pete Davidson's parody, I'm Just Pete, spinning off I'm Just Ken from the movie Barbie that came out this summer. Davidson references his Peacock series Bupkis, which flopped on the platform, his romance with former girlfriend Kim Kardashian, and his feud with Ye. Now, while things seem to be down for Davidson, he is rumored to be dating Outer Banks actress Madeline Klein. SNL will be back Saturday, October 21st, with Bad Bunny being both the host and musical artist. That's all from me. Back to Santino and Ben at the desk.
Now, unfortunately, the clock is about to strike 10, which means this show has come to an end.
Thank you for watching this edition of the Q30 Newscast. To stay up to date on all of our content, go follow us on social media at Q30TV. Also, visit us on our website at Q30TV.com. From the producers and everyone behind the scenes, I'm Santino Mayoni, he's Ben Kane, and this has been the Q30 Newscast.